Okay, so today's lesson is on multiplication of polynomials. So the first thing we'll do is we're going to review distributive property. Basically, that is when there is a number in front of the bracket, we multiply that to everything inside of the bracket. All right, so it could be a number, it could be a monomial, such as this. Either way, if it's in front of the bracket, we multiply it to everything inside of the bracket. So our first example here, we have a 5 in front of the bracket, and inside the bracket we have 2x squared minus 3x. So this 5 is going to multiply with the 2x squared, and it's going to multiply with the 3x. We can also say it's a minus 3x or negative 3x. So 5 times 2x squared, that will give me 10x squared. And then 5 times negative 3x, which gives me negative 15x. All right, you can do a step here to show your step. You can show that you're taking that 5 and you're multiplying it by 2x squared. And you're taking the positive 5 and we're multiplying it by the negative 3x. All right, so that would just be a step to show that you're multiplying. And then you can go ahead and see that this would become 10x squared and this becomes a negative 15x. All right, and it's multiplied out, so that is the answer there. All right, so here we have the negative 3x squared, and it's going to multiply to everything inside the bracket. So we have 3 terms inside the bracket. So it's going to multiply to the 2x squared, it's going to multiply to the 4x, and it's going to multiply to the negative 2. To show that as a step, we can write that out as negative 3x squared is multiplying to 2x squared. And then we have the negative 3x squared multiplying to 4x. And we have the negative 3x squared multiplying to the negative 2. All right, so if that makes sense to you, then you can write out the step here. You can also just go ahead and multiply showing arrows as well. So our first term here will become negative 6, because negative 3 times 2 gives me negative 6. And then we do have to use our exponent rules because we have x squared times x squared. You're going to add the exponents, becomes x to the positive 4. X to the power of 4. Next, we have negative 3 times 4, which will give me negative 12. Then we have x squared and x to the power of 1. So again, we're going to add exponents. So that becomes x to the power of 3. And then we have here negative 3 times negative 2, which will give me positive 6. And then we still have the x squared. All right, so our answer here is negative 6 x to the power of 4 minus 12 x to the power of 3 plus 6 x squared. All right, so just a quick example we did here as a class. So we have the negative 3x, that's going to multiply to the positive 2x, and we have the negative 3x that's going to multiply to the negative 5. Right, so if we did want to write that out as a step, it would be negative 3x times 2x. And then we have the negative 3x multiplying with the negative 5. All right, so you can write out that step if it makes more sense to you to do that. So here we have the negative 3 times the 2, which gives me negative 6. And then we have x times x, which gives me x squared. All right, next we have negative 3 times negative 5, which is positive 15, and then just the x. So our answer here is negative 6x squared plus 15x. Okay, so our next part of this lesson is the FOIL method of multiplication, and it's only used, this FOIL method, it's only used when we multiply 2 binomials together. All right, so this is a binomial and this is a binomial. So remember, bi means 2. All right, so it's a polynomial that has 2 terms. That's why it's called a binomial. All right, so what does FOIL stand for? So F stands for first, O stands for outer, I stands for inner, and then L stands for last. All right, so when we look at this example here, we have 3x plus 4. I'm just going to write it out. 3x plus 4. And it's being multiplied by 2x minus 5. All right, so it's two binomials being multiplied together. So our first, meaning the first terms in the two binomials, so that would be 3x being multiplied by 2x. All right, so I'm just going to write that out. So it's 3x being multiplied by 2x. All right, next would be outermost. So outermost, that's going to be the 3x and the negative 5 being multiplied together. So 3x and negative 5 being multiplied together. Next, we have the inner. So inner would be 4 being multiplied by 2x. And then lastly is the last terms. So it's the 4 being multiplied by the negative 5. All right, and then we can go ahead and multiply. So 3x times 2x, that gives me 6x squared. Next, we have 3x times negative 5, which is negative 15x. I'm just going to put it in brackets. And next, we have 4 times 2x, which is 8x. And then we have 4 times negative 5, which is negative 20. All right, so next, what we're going to do is, I'm just going to write this out without brackets just so it looks familiar. So 6x squared minus 15x plus 8x minus 20. All right, so what we can see here is that we do have two terms that we can collect together because they are like terms. These two terms here are like terms, so negative 15x and positive 8x. All right, so we can collect those together. So I'm just going to rewrite this out. So we have 6x squared, negative 15x plus 8x gives me negative 7x. And then we just have minus 20. All right, so our final answer is 6x squared minus 7x minus 20. All right, so I'm just going to show the same example just with arrows. So you have to take the 3x, you're going to multiply the 2x. The 3x has to multiply by the negative 5. The 4 has to multiply by the 2x. And the 4 is going to multiply by the negative 5. So that is the same thing. I'm just showing FOIL, just showing the arrows. So 3x, you multiply it by the 2x, which gives us 6x squared. 3x multiplied by negative 5, which is negative 15x. 4 times 2x, which is positive 8x. 4 times a negative 5, which was negative 20. And then we collected those two like terms there in the middle, which we already know is negative 7x. So we just rewrite this out. So it's 6x squared minus 7x minus 20. Okay, so the next example, again, there are two binomials, binomial and a binomial, and we have to multiply those together. So I'm just going to rewrite it out. Negative 5x minus 8 multiplied by 2x minus 3. All right, so FOIL method. So we're going to multiply the two first terms together. So negative 5x times 2x. Then the outermost, which is negative 5x times the negative 3. Then we're going to do the inner, which is negative 8 times 2x. And then the last, which is negative 8 times negative 3. All right, so just showing that with arrows. So firstly, we have negative 5x times 2x. So again, I can write that out as a step. Just going to pause it here. So just writing that out as a step here. So we have negative 5x being multiplied by 2x. Okay, and then we have the negative 5x being multiplied by the negative 3. Then we have negative 8 being multiplied by 2x. And then we have the negative 8 multiplied by negative 3. All right, and now we can start multiplying. So negative 5x times 2x, that's going to give me negative 10x squared. Okay, next we have negative 5x times negative 3. That's going to give me plus 15x. Next we have negative 8 times 2x. That's negative 16x. And then we have negative 8 times negative 3, which is plus 24. All right, so now we can see that we can collect those two middle terms because they are like terms. So 15x minus 16x, which gives me negative 1x. So rewriting this all out, we have negative 10x squared minus 1x, or just minus x, and then plus 24. Okay, so our first one for you guys to try was the y plus 7 times the y plus 2. So we're taking our first, which is y times y. So y times y, which gives me y squared. Next we have y times 2, which will give me plus 2y. Next we have 7 times y, which is plus 7y. And then we have 7 times 2, which is plus 14. All right, the two middle terms here we can collect together because they're like terms. 2y plus 7y, which will give me 9y. So our answer is y squared plus 9y plus 14. All right, go ahead and try the next one. Okay, so our next example, so again, using the FOIL method, we're going to multiply the first term, so the 7 times the 8, then the outer, which is the 7 and the y, then I for inner, which is the y times the 8, and then the L, which is last, which is y times the y. All right, so let's multiply this out. 7 times 8, which gives me 56. 7 times y, which is 7y. Then y times 8, which I'm just going to write as 8y. And then y times y, which is y squared. And then our two middle terms, we can collect together, 7y plus 8y. So our answer is 56 plus 15y plus the y squared. All right, and then if we write this correctly in descending order of our exponents, it would be y squared plus 15y plus 56. All right, if you left it as this, it's still correct. I'm just rewriting it out in the descending order. Okay, so last example here, we're going to take our 3x, multiply it by the 3x, and the 3x multiply it with the 2, and then we have next is I for inner, so 2 times 3x, and then last 2 times the 2. All right, so 3x times 3x, that gives me 9x squared. Next we have 3x times 2, which is 6x. And 2 times 3x, which is 6x. And then 2 times 2, which is 4. All right, and then we just have the two middle terms there that we can collect together, 6x plus 6x, which gives me 12x. So we end up with 9x squared plus 12x plus 4.